Hey people, it's Niall Stokey. I'd like to thank Pro 42 for introducing me to this story. So this is from Guardian NG, outrage over government's move to invite Chinese doctors. The move by the federal government to bring Chinese medical experts to help check the coronavirus pandemic in Nigeria has drawn the ire of local stakeholders. Health Minister Osagi Ehinayar has announced last Friday that an 18-man team of Chinese medical experts, including doctors, nurses, and other medical advisors, will assist Nigeria in its fight against COVID-19. The Nigerian Medical Association (NMA) is in a statement by its president, Dr. Francis Adedayo Fadoyul, said this association received the report with great dismay and utter disappointment. It described the plan as an embarrassment to members and other health workers fighting COVID-19 in deplorable conditions. This personnel should not have been subject to the ignominy of not being carried along on such a decision, the NMA noted. The doctors are profoundly dismayed to learn that the federal government is inviting the Chinese, who from available accounts are not out of the woods themselves, said NMA. It regretted that the government did not take into consideration the extant laws regulating the practice of medicine in Nigeria as enshrined in the Medical and Dental Council Act. It noted further that the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria should have been consulted to grant approvals to foreigners to interact with Nigerian patients. The association is aware of a large pool of general medical and specialist practitioners who are either unemployed or underemployed. These could be engaged instead of foreigners who pose a risk to national security and may not be conversant with culture, terrain, and peculiar challenges, the NMA said. It stressed the invitation is ill-timed and of no overbearing significance, considering that whatever experience the Chinese have could be shared by digital technology through conferencing. The NMA hoped that the government would rescind the decision in the interest of the country, warning that it would hate to review its participation in the fight against COVID-19 if the government goes ahead. The association nevertheless affirmed its commitment to the Nigerian people and the government, expressing support for the efforts of its frontline health workers in containing the pandemic. Similarly, the chairman of the Federal Capital Territory Chapter, Dr. Phillips Ekpe, warned, "We need to be careful of the Chinese coming to the country at this time. At any time. They seem to not have a good name. We're not sure of the value they are going to add. Our case is not severe and Nigerian doctors are doing very well. We learned that it wasn't the federal government that invited them. They are accompanying some medical equipment being donated to Nigeria. So they are even uninvited. They should offload and go. There are so many conspiracy theories around this COVID-19. We need to be very cautious. There are so many doctors out there who are not employed. Government should engage them." He urged the government to use the COVID-19 opportunity to upgrade the nation's healthcare facilities and motivate health workers at the front line by increasing their hazard allowance from the current Naira 5,000 to Naira 200,000. Also, the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, NARD, said the country's medical experts were already winning the battle against the pandemic and should therefore be encouraged and motivated, not distracted and demoralized. A statement by NARD President Dr. Sakumbo Aliyu warned that Chinese scientists could not be trusted given how unreliably and covertly they had allegedly managed information about the pandemic. Nigeria is too important in the African continent to act carelessly in the face of this emerging but potent threat to human existence. We need to holistically cross-examine the intent and purpose of the importation of the 18-man Chinese team. But they're just there to cause problems. That's what I'd say. The information is puzzled that the federal government, although through the Federal Ministry of Health, will be contemplating such an venture while discussing it with key relevant stakeholders like the NMA, our parent body, and all her relevant affiliates that parade some of the world's best hands in all fields of endeavor, the statement said. Some countries went ahead to accelerate the graduation of their final year medical students. They did not return to China. If the federal government had completely employed the available qualified doctors and other healthcare workers before turning to China for medical manpower to fill any persisting gap, it would have to be less suspicious. The association wondered if the Chinese medical experts would accept Naira 5,000 as monthly hazard allowance. Why did the federal government not bring Chinese experts on the same condition of service? The federal government needs to immediately review the hazard allowance and make it a percentage of the basic salary of all healthcare workers. The news making the rounds of some quarters the Chinese experts are coming to Nigeria to play only an advisory role and not to directly intervene in the day-to-day handling of Nigerian patients does not appear believable, because telemedicine would have been more cost-effective, faster, and easier to harness than flying them into Nigeria and moving them from place to place at a huge cost to our national budget. Some medical professionals, however, differed. President Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, PSN, Mazi Sam Ahua Bunwa, said, "In principle, we should have no issue of anybody offering to help us. They are not our enemies." Yes, they are. They are always in Africa causing problems. Most of the money the federal and state governments have bought. And just to let you know, they have a museum in China depicting Africans as animals. And state governments have borrowed is from the Export-Import Bank of China. They sent 2,000 ventilators to the United States, and the government of New York, Andrew Cuomo, received them in gratitude. If China offered to send us help and we need help, we should take it. Not all good help is good help. The only thing is that we should validate it. We can decide to accept the help only as advisory role. Whatever the help they offer to bring, we should validate it with its drugs, equipment, and experts. The world is becoming a global village. The whole world is one. All these human squabbles should stop. All this hatred and wickedness will stop because it is what brought us to where we are now. We must accept love and friendliness, and that is what the Chinese are offering. These people have never heard of the Trojan horse, have they? In the same vein, the national president of the Guild of Medical Directors, Dr. Professor Femi Dokun Babalola, said it's interesting that Chinese medical experts come in Nigeria. It's okay to listen to what they may have to say, no harm in that, but whatever is implemented as a result of their visit must be agreed to with our own local experts as being along the lines of sound epidemiological and public health practice. In other reactions, the Trade Union Congress Okay, this article is going on a bit. I'm going to just leave this in the description. You've obviously got the general gist of it. I'll leave it in the description and some others so you can read it. Please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. If you'd like to support the channel, leave my GoFundMe in the description. And if you'd like to follow me on Instagram, I'll leave that there as well. Peace.